Learn English through story. The Sculptor and the Philosopher. In the bustling city of Andoria, there lived a renowned sculptor named Lucian. His sculptures were so lifelike that they seemed to breathe. People traveled from far and wide to see his works, which adorned the city's squares, palaces, and temples. Despite his fame, Lucian was a solitary figure, consumed by his art and the pursuit of perfection. One day, a philosopher named Marcus came to Andoria. He was known for his profound wisdom and had a reputation for challenging conventional thinking. Hearing about Lucian's extraordinary talent, Marcus decided to visit the sculptor's studio. When Marcus arrived, he found Lucian deeply engrossed in chiseling a block of marble. He watched silently, admiring the precision and skill with which Lucian worked. After a while, Lucian paused and noticed Marcus standing there. "Welcome, stranger. What brings you to my studio?" Lucian asked, wiping the sweat from his brow. "I am Marcus, a philosopher. I've heard of your incredible talent and wanted to see it for myself," Marcus replied. "Your work is truly remarkable. But tell me, Lucian, what drives you to create such perfect sculptures?" Lucian smiled. "I strive for perfection. I want my sculptures to be flawless representations of beauty and truth." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Perfection is a noble goal, but it can be a double-edged sword. Tell me, do you find happiness in your pursuit?" Lucian's smile faded. He had never considered this question before. He spent countless hours working on his sculptures, often losing sleep and neglecting other aspects of his life. While he took pride in his creations, he often felt an emptiness that he couldn't explain. "I am fulfilled by my work," Lucian replied hesitantly, "but I don't know if I would call it happiness." Marcus's eyes sparkled with understanding. "May I tell you a story, Lucian?" Lucian nodded, intrigued. "Once, in a distant land, there was a king who sought to create the most beautiful garden in the world. He hired the best gardeners, brought in exotic plants, and spared no expense. However, he was never satisfied. He would find a single wilted leaf or an imperfect flower and demand that it be replaced. His obsession with perfection consumed him, and he spent all his time in the garden, searching for flaws. One day, an old gardener approached the king and said, "Your Majesty, beauty lies not in perfection, but in the harmony of imperfections. Embrace the garden as it is, and you will find true contentment." The king, though reluctant, decided to heed the gardener's advice. He began to see the garden in a new light, appreciating the unique beauty of each plant, even with its imperfections. In time, the king found a peace he had never known, and the garden became a place of joy rather than a source of frustration. Lucian listened intently, the story resonating deeply within him. "Are you saying that my pursuit of perfection is preventing me from finding happiness?" "Not entirely," Marcus replied. "Striving for excellence is commendable, but it should not come at the cost of your well-being. Sometimes, we must learn to appreciate the beauty in imperfection." Lucian pondered these words long after Marcus left. He continued to work on his sculptures, but with a new perspective. He allowed himself to take breaks, to enjoy the simple pleasures of life, and to accept that not every detail had to be flawless. Months passed, and Lucian completed a new sculpture, a statue of a young woman. It was beautiful, but if one looked closely, they could see small imperfections in the stone. Lucian displayed it in the town square, curious to see how people would react. To his surprise, the statue was met with overwhelming admiration. People praised not just its beauty, but the emotion it conveyed. They saw in it a reflection of their own imperfections and felt a deeper connection to the art. One day, as Lucian was walking through the town, he encountered Marcus again. "Your latest work is extraordinary, Lucian," Marcus said with a smile. Do you see now what I meant? I do, Lucian replied. I've learned that perfection is not about eliminating flaws but embracing them. In doing so, I've found a new sense of peace and joy in my work. Marcus nodded. Remember, true art and true happiness come from the heart. When we accept ourselves and our creations, imperfections and all, we unlock a deeper, more meaningful beauty. From that day forward, Lucian's sculptures took on a new dimension. They were still masterfully crafted, but they also carried a sense of warmth and humanity. People continued to admire his work, but now they felt an even stronger connection to it. Lucian's studio became a place not just of creation but of learning and sharing. He opened his doors to aspiring artists, teaching them the skills of sculpting and the philosophy he had learned from Marcus. He encouraged them to strive for excellence but also to embrace their unique styles and imperfections. Years passed, and Lucian's reputation grew. He was no longer seen merely as a master sculptor but as a wise teacher and a source of inspiration. His studio became a hub of creativity, where artists from all over the kingdom came to learn, share, and grow. One evening, as Lucian was working on a new piece, a young artist named Alara approached him. Master Lucian, your sculptures are so full of life and emotion. How do you achieve such depth? Lucian smiled, recalling his journey. By understanding that art, like life, is not about achieving flawless perfection. It's about expressing truth and embracing the beauty in our imperfections. When we pour our heart into our work and accept its uniqueness, we create something truly meaningful. Alara nodded, inspired by his words. She left the studio with a renewed sense of purpose, ready to create her own masterpieces with the wisdom she had gained. Lucian continued to sculpt until his hands could no longer hold the chisel. He passed away peacefully, surrounded by his students and admirers. In his honor, the people of Andoria erected a statue of him in the town square, a testament to his legacy. The statue was not perfect, it had small imperfections that only added to its charm. It stood as a reminder of Lucian's teachings, that true beauty and happiness come from embracing our imperfections and expressing our genuine selves. And so, the story of Lucian, the sculptor who found wisdom in imperfection, lived on. His legacy inspired generations of artists and thinkers to strive for excellence while accepting the beauty of their unique journeys. In doing so, they discovered that the path to true fulfillment lay not in the relentless pursuit of perfection but in the heartfelt expression of their authentic selves. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.